Let's talk buying strategies in 2026. We have lived through many of these cycles over the years. With each multi year cycle, patterns do emerge. And what have we learned over the past few decades? Well, first, when prices surge, don't quit. But it is advised to reduce inventory levels. Those importers who continue to maintain some inventory during price cycle surges benefit greatly. Lower inventory means lower storage and carrying costs. With longer transit times by sea, almost double what they were a couple years ago, air freight can be an effective short term solution. But isn't air freight expensive? Well, relatively, maybe not. Air freight inventories turn faster, require less refrigerated warehouse space, and keep inventory and storage costs low compared to ocean shipments. The extra few percentage points for air are offset by those lower costs, and the ability to turn those sales 3 or 4 times faster than by sea. Well, it just makes sense. In other words, for every time an importer can purchase, sell, and collect for a sea shipment, air transport allows importers to purchase, sell, and collect on air multiple times. The strategy actually works. It is a smart use of limited funds, while most competitors will sit it out or rely on local purchases from those who elect to keep inventories on hand. Your USB partner will be able to advise you the best course of action because tactics can often change week to week. Second, do not become too dependent on a single packer, especially during lean times. A unique aspect of U.S. beef is its standardized government grading program. U.S. beef is government graded according to measurable objective criteria. All plants operate under the same government grading system, so the quality of a choice strip loin in one plant will be graded by the same criteria as beef produced in all other USDA inspected plants. Therefore, it benefits buyers not to be overly reliant on any one packer. Be flexible. Take time to understand the uniqueness of the US system and then make the US system work for you. For chain operators during times of reduced supply and higher costs, follow your franchise specs and do not cut quality for short term gain. Customers are smart, they figure it out quickly. We can tell many stories of the rise and fall of chain operators who failed in large part to compromising on quality. Use your chain's leverage in negotiating the best deals for its operators and make certain that your U.S. supply partners use their best efforts to tap into U.S. chain domestic contracts. This can really help keep costs as low as possible. These contracts are highly leveraged for their operators, not just domestic operators, but international partners as well. So, where is the good news in all of this? Well, first, we are near the end of the current cattle cycle, when the rebuilding phase will result in more marketable cattle. It's a cycle. The sky is not falling. It's just a normal production cycle that's playing itself out. The market works. And perhaps most important, U.S. beef grading is at an all time high level. The overall quality of the U.S. beef herd keeps getting better. It's been a very real trend over the past several years as ranchers have adapted science based approaches to breeding and raising cattle. The top grade of U.S. beef, USDA Prime, has grown from an average of 3% of production over several decades to as high as 20% of production some weeks in 2025. We expect the prime grade category to continue to grow. It's where the action is, and it is where we see the best opportunities for growth and success. Now, many times during the year, the production of USDA Prime exceeds that of the base level USDA Select grade, something impossible to imagine just a few years ago. Very often, USDA Prime outperforms most of the beef being marketed as Wagyu bred beef for a lower cost, and there's plenty of Prime to go around. So there is a silver lining to the U.S. beef story as we move into the new year. With plentiful supplies of truly exceptional quality beef at excellent comparative values. And while no one has a magic ball to predict the future, history tells us that we will see seasonal relief. That, in fact, has already started. Beyond that, we should see more stable pricing overall as cattle inventories start to grow in the second half of 2026. If you have any questions or comments about anything beef related, just let us know. And thanks for tuning in. Life is good. Happy trails.